Alright, welcome back to Trophy Chronicles, where I take a look and just talk about the latest platinum I got, pretty much right after I get it. Or in this case, wow, it's been a while. Yeah, I got to platinum just back in January, but I'll be perfectly honest, varying reasons I just started putting this off. And it was, when I talked about it, it went like 40 minutes, which is not what I wanted to go through. And I just wanted it to be a quick little fun thing to do, and I didn't want to be, it just ended up being put off more and more and more, and then before I knew it, 8 months had passed, and that's crazy. Problems happened, and everything on my old laptop got corrupted, wiped, just lost basically. And rather than hoping I can get that back, and then who knows how long rather than just hoping that magic comes back, I decided fuck it. Instead of buying things to get the stuff back, and you know what? For something I don't even want to go through in the first place, it might be a blessing in disguise. But yeah, just get right back into this, and hopefully keep it consistent this time. The one I'll be taking a look at here is I was having a new setup, so I'm doing things. I just decided just on a whim, so it's kind of distracting seeing myself moving on the side. But yeah, first one we're taking a look at. Strange to think only like a few platinums back. I lost this one like two more, I think, but it doesn't matter. Empire of the Ants. And if you've never seen one of these before, basically what I do is just I take a look at the general trophy, it's the platinum itself, the just kind of split into a few sections like collectibles, story, whatever it might be, and just talk about overall. I think give like a rating of fun factor, difficulty, and how long it took me, and just overall talking about the experience of getting it from starting the game to getting the 100% or the platinum, which I guess I also got to mention at the start. I have an intro thing, I think. Shit, I do. But yeah, whenever you get like platinum 100% or just officially give up. Because, maybe I know I want to. I know I'm never going to get to level 50 in Max Payne 3, for example. But yeah, let's just get right into it. Empire of the Ants. First off, what is Empire of the Ants? I will say as well, I'm going a lot of this off memory of a game I platinumed 8 months ago, so forgive me if I'm a bit more vague and uncommittal. But that'll get less of a problem as I go on. It's an RTS game where you play as an ant. In a lot of ways, you're very typical RTS, and if I'm going to be honest, with very limited knowledge and experience in this franchise or this genre, I'd imagine maybe lesser. I have no idea. But it's your common thing. You gather resources, spend them to get new types of ants, fighter ants, flying, ranged attacks, healing stuff, and kind of a little more support stuff for getting food and resources. Average in that way, very, very like what you'd expect. Then you can get upgrades your stuff by getting more food, more stuff. We'll get better upgrades, specialized ants, and well, not even ants, but like other workers such as hornets and etc. Like I said, it's been a while, but they'll typically be faster and stronger. And your basic goal is either like multiple types of missions. Some will require you just finding a certain type of collectible. Some will require you to use a specific type of ant or specific, a very specified grouping of them to try to do something. Sometimes just have free reign. But mostly it's just defeat your opponent ants, defeat their nest. Along the way, you'll have your opponent's nest here, you'll be here, and in between there'll be a bunch of like on a lot of Switzerland ones that are just they have their defenses, but they're not to either side, and you get them, you get as many as you can. Other ants will try to get them too. The other team's ants, I mean. And you can use those as bases to get more types of ants throughout the thing. So you'll start off with just a worker unit, and then you can get a range. You go here, get another one. Go here, get a ranged one. Go here, get this one. Each can only have one type of ant, but can also have various types of like upgrades, such as better defense, better defense in terms of just a wall, better attacking from there, speeding up, and then you have like spore things. I think they're like pheromones, some kind of do you to speed up your ant, heal your ant, cause poison, various things. And when you're not doing that, the party game I genuinely like more, you have just being an ant. You have like a hub world, and some of the missions are based around this too, where you just explore, climb up things because you're an ant, everything's huge, and there's a few collectibles to get throughout that, and a bit of a story in between it. Nothing incredible as you'd expect, but I think I read it all. It's fine. But I will say before anything else, the part where you're just an ant, it's beautiful. I'm not kidding. I hope I still have enough of the footage for it here, but if I can't, I'll try to get something. When I was here, I'm not used to this, and just I was playing it at the start, And I thought it was going to be really clunky, and it can be. But the second I got onto this slug, and the music started playing, and I was just a little ant riding on a slug, and everything felt okay. Everything felt right. I'm not exaggerating in the slightest. I have never been more at peace, more tranquil than right here. And no exaggeration, I just felt right. I would genuinely tear up a little bit. Because it's fucking beautiful. I don't know what it is, but I just felt right. I would just at times sit and stare. I would just climb up on a branch and just pan. Whether you're on a slug riding around, just sitting on a branch, or inside of a milk jug, when the music outside just kind of softens, I guess, because you're inside a jug, kind of echoes and softens. It's fucking incredible. Like, it is cosmic. And I've never felt anything even close to it. It's hard to even express what it made me feel. From a fucking ant game. If they release a DLC that's just exploring a shit as an ant, day one. That was the most fun part. Not the most fun part, but just the most like tranquil, beautiful part of the game. I would love to play a game based on just that. But I guess with that out of the way, let's just get into the actual trophies themselves. Like I kind of alluded to at the start, I'll just put into RTS stuff, other stuff, like outer ant stuff, and collectibles. So there's three types of missions: just tactical, exploration, and strategic. Tactical are based when you're given a certain specific type of ant and you might be like thrown in the middle and your idea is to not let them capture a single nest. Strategic are just the normal ones. You have your ant, they have their ant, beat them, where you can do pretty much whatever you want. And exploration, which is more, just ant stuff, where you might have to rescue 7 ants before the water rises, or find 7 moths, or whatever. Strategic are easily the most fun just because you have free reign. Tactical are the most stressful because you know how easy things can go wrong. But most of the trophies basically just revolve around doing all them, and there's a few specific ones like doing one without taking damage to your main ant, because you can't travel around. That's kind of how you interact with your ants and do your pheromone stuff. Or do a specific mission without using this specific type of spore. Don't go above level 2. Do this mission while riding on a snail for 80%. Most of them are pretty simple and will require, you might have to experiment because what you can get away with doing first, how fast you have to upgrade this to not get killed and hit by this, but most of the time it's fine. As somebody who doesn't play these kind of games at all, I struggle probably a lot more than if you're even a slight fan. I imagine you'd definitely get through this much faster than you did. But for me, there was definitely a struggle, especially with some of the missions that required specifics, but most of the time you get through them fine. Like I said, just a bit of experimentation. Two of these stood out as being fucking horrendous. One was to finish a mission, I think it was the last mission, or at least one of the final missions, by beating the 2 enemy nests within 4 minutes apart. You could take as long as you want to beat the first nest, but once you did that, you had to get the second one in 4 minutes. This is one of the hardest missions in the game, if not the hardest, by default. I struggled a lot. I don't have much to say about it. You just basically had to get as many, like I had to just get like as many level 3s as I could, as fast as I could. Get as many like of the special type event, the hornets or whatever you could get. And just use all my pheromones and just go for it. It took me a few tries. It took me hours of trying. And eventually, because you'd be trying and suddenly, oh, I'm being attacked from here and by here, and then you're fucked. Like it can get to a point where if you're being attacked by 2 players at the wrong time, you are gone. Or they just attacked the wrong one. I think in the final attempt where I actually did do it, or maybe it was one where I failed, the final time I failed, I thought I was done. I had beaten the first one and I was at the other nest. Nothing had interrupted me in between badly enough. And then I was there yelling at the TV like, what are you doing? Why are you not attacking the fucking nest? What the fuck? Attack! Trying to attack it. And then I realised it was my fucking nest. I was gone to, I don't know how it happened. Probably after like 9 hours of staring at the screen, losing, I just mind numb. That might have been the attempt where I actually did it, but at least that was kind of a test of skill, of knowing what you were doing. The trophy that pissed me off the most, it was called You Shall Not Pass. You had to do the entire mission without any defensive nest upgrades, stuff that could just any kind of defenses. That's not the issue. The problem was it was a tactical I think it was a tactical mission, but it wasn't a normal mission. You had to defend your nest for 9 fucking minutes. And the issue, no, that's not even the worst part. It's annoying to fail because in the last 30 seconds you lost a mission, and absolute best case scenario, if you do perfectly, you're still there for 9 fucking minutes. That's bad enough. Wait, that actually might not be it. It was 9 rounds, that was it, sorry. The minutes part comes in because at the start of every time, there's a 3 minute wait until the enemies appear to let you, build up your defenses and stuff. You have like 9 nests, and most of them already have defenses built in by default. So you have to run around at the start of every attempt, nest, cancel, destroy, go to the next nest, cancel, destroy, and it takes roughly a few, like, I don't know how long it took, but either way, you're still waiting there for 3 minutes. So you had to go around, hope that you had plenty of time to do it, but you had to hope you got everyone and didn't miss one. They're arranged in a ring with one in the middle, so it's very easy to go like, oh wait, where did I start from? Did I do that one? Did I do that? At one time, I actually did it, but the middle nest, I forgot to get. I must have went up and just forgot, or just missed it. The thing that makes that even more infuriating, they're never going to get to the middle nest without hitting one of the outside ones. And if they take any nest, you lose. The only nest in the entire round that doesn't matter, I forgot to do, and it cost me. Maybe I can only pray it's been updated since. I'll hopefully check before this is out. If they just change it so you could go in, cancel defenses, yes, and you could just start the round, I would be fine. But you're also going to do like other stuff, like arrange where your ants are going to defend and stuff. And one tiny mistake and you're gone. Oops, I forgot to send the right team to nest 9 and nest 2, and they died, and now I'm fucked. And I have to start again, run around to cancel for like 3 minutes. I raged like you have no fucking clue. Do you have any idea how it feels to get this close to finishing a really tough mission, lose for something really stupid, and then you go back in and just have to spend 3 minutes doing something that really could have just been cancelled out and would have changed nothing except time wasting? Fucking infuriating. But I eventually got it. They're the only two who were like horrible in terms of that stuff, but yeah. I had a bit of trouble with one who was like, I don't know, let's just, in terms of other stuff, I had a bit of trouble with one who was like collecting the 7 ants in 5 minutes because they're all scattered around. You had to get them all before I think it was like 5 minutes before the flood gets them or something, and that was a tough one too. But these were the only two that really got me. Everything else was mostly fine. In terms of collectibles, there's really not much to it. You find stuff to climb on. There's like a soccer ball. There's a bunch of little dots on it, like glowing orbs, and if you run into all of them, you're fine. You collect it. Just checking to make sure my numbers right. 41 creatures. I just said beat 41 of the enemies. 21 memories, which is like you'll find what's what I'm looking for? Like a leftover pheromone trail. I might be using that word right. And it will give you a little like backstory to what happened to somebody else that died. 21 items. There were soccer balls I mentioned, like a milk jug, a shoe, a knife. It just gives you a little description of what they are. They're nothing special, but they're nice. Crawling over them is fun. Like I said, the milk jug that you can find, I think that's what it was. Sometimes climbing on these is just beautifully tranquil. I don't know what it is. And then there's like 30 something butterflies of different kinds. Basically, you just jump onto them. Oh, I didn't even mention. I just think about that now again. I don't like bugs. I don't like things with legs. I'll admit that. But in games and stuff, in fiction, no issue. I don't care. Like, I'm not the kind of person who's gonna see a spider in a game like, oh no. But the only example of that other than this is Resident Evil 7. The moths. Oh, those wings, man. They gotten too good. But usually I'm fine. Being an ant in this game and crawling over to another ant and touching any creature at the start of this game, I don't know what it was. It fucking skeeved me out. Because I remember the first time I was getting close to it, oh god, oh god, oh god, it felt wrong. The butterflies are, it's the way you jump on them, the way they flap around. I don't know what it is. I just don't know what it does. It hits something in me. This game is just too good with that stuff. Even the first time a slug was crawling towards me, I was like, I know nothing's going to happen to me. Probably nothing's even going to happen in the game. But I felt off. Like, I don't know, almost like waiting for a jump scare. It's like, oh god, it's going to get me. But then, I rode on it and just felt at peace. I don't know what that was. And that's why I remember, like, because of the butterflies I was mentioning, every time I had to jump on one, it's a weird experience. But yeah, it's collectibles one too. I was just go through it with a guide basically, or just they're well laid out. You know, it'll show that this mission has three butterflies, two items, one whatever. So it's not too bad in that regard. And there's also fun, just like silly quirk, like the kind of old school trophies that I don't see a lot anymore. You know, jump off the highest point, leave in the middle of a conversation with the queen, have five of this type of bug roll over. I think it was on for jumping on 50 butterflies. Oh no, chase away 50 butterflies. That was. I wish I'd gone for that throughout the game. That's one bit of advice I will give you both for this. Every time you go back to the hub area, chase a butterfly or two. Otherwise, you're just going to be at the end of the game going, because I think they just fly within three spots and it's just over here, climb this, go. Over here, climb this, go. Thankfully, the controls are good though, because you wouldn't think by looking at it, this controls more tight and well than it has any business doing. If you see this jump, it doesn't look like it would work, but it's perfect. There's also sort of like they're not too different, but it can mess with you a bit. We have to get through all these like in between every area. There's a jumping section, platforming kind of section, and you'll have a trophy to do them all without getting hit by the water once or falling in once. Because water's insta kill. So I think overall decent. I had fun with it. It had its problems. It pissed me off. It fucking infuriated me. I'm not even a big fan of RTS games, but I liked it. Some of the starter tutorials can be a bit annoying, but it was fine. But to get into the ratings, fun factor overall, it's mixed. Like I said a few times there, not a big RTS guy, but I did enjoy that. The outside stuff, absolutely loved. I think if it was just the outside stuff, there's actually a chance I could just get a 10 out of 10 for this. If they can make a full game around, I really hope they do it some, but I don't care about the RTS stuff. Just give me ants. There was a game called like Soft Sounds or Sound something. I'll put it up here. Back in the PS3 or 4, I think. It was on PlayStation Plus. It was like a little indie game. And I remember they had like the real game. Didn't give a shit about it. Played it for like 5 minutes. Like, whoa, this sucks. I think I just didn't give a shit either way. But they released some DLC that was really tough and very different, and it was one of my favorite experiences. Been such a long time. I have to check what that was. I don't remember what the game was. I just remember not liking the game, but the DLCs, every one of them, fantastic. That could be like this, but better. But between a mix of the really awkward and annoying trophies and the stuff I did enjoy, I'd say it's a bit different. Say, we'll give it. It's a bit harder because, 8 months have passed, but for the memories of the tranquility, we'll give it a 7. I think that's fair. Hope there's enough room for the stuff here. That was one of the biggest problems with my last like location. Difficulty. See, it's kind of tough to say because the Beyond the Storm, the 4 minute one, that was tough as shit. Is it really difficulty if the biggest frustration is just that you have to go on for 3 minutes at the start and dismantle everything because they don't give you a fucking option just to not have the defense? Oh, this isn't just like an oversight or a oops, they didn't think about it, so it's a trophy, who cares? In the trophy description, it tells you that you can go around, you have 3 minutes to destroy them all. This was intentional. They knew that you had to do this. It wasn't just like some oversight, like it's just a trophy, we didn't think about it because it's just a trophy that relates to the mission. We forgot that they were on by default. It's in the trophy. They knew. But it's not difficulty. It's just, again, with like 9 or 7 waves or whatever, and the first few are going to be much easier. It's just frustration. That was the worst part. And loading screens in between, that was, oh. And like any badly designed mission, you couldn't retry. You had to quit, loading screen, wait, click mission again, go back in. And when you did finish, I don't think you could skip the cutscene of you losing. Oh. Or I think even if you won actually without doing it right, which I guess isn't going to happen to most people, and it's probably going to be a hard thing to happen. But you have to watch an entire cutscene after because that's the last part of that story segment. I think I'll give an 8. I think that's fair because it did have really frustrating top parts. Maybe if you're actually semi-competent at RTS games that have played more than one. If the last one you played before this wasn't Command and Conquer on the PS1 when you were 10, and even that's been older than I probably was, it could probably go to a 7 or a 6. But for me, 8 because it did hurt sometimes. As for length, it took me a grand total of 64 hours. Like I said, like with the difficulty, you could probably cut like half of this off if you're semi-competent at this. I think a good chunk of that time. Can I check really quick? I wish I could check like the exact playtime when I finished the story. But I think it was the third, and it took me 9 days, and I played at a lot in between to get to platinum. All I had left was collectibles and a few cleanup trophies. But yeah, I genuinely think these 64 hours could be cut minimum down by 20 if you know what you're doing. Because I think the 4 minute one other one, and the defenses one I mentioned, the you shall not pass one, genuinely could take me like 20, 30 hours. Because I would just be there for like at least 2 or 3 days in a row. I think for like 4, 5, 6 hours in a row, non-stop, just constantly raging at this. It hurt. So for an overall rating, game, trophies, all included, I'll say I think a 7 seems fair. It definitely loses at least a point for shitty trophy design in terms of Before the Storm. That was fucking terrible. Not Before the Storm. Fucking Life is Strange. You Shall Not Pass. Before the Storm, yeah, that was the other one. That was the mission. But I really hope at some point they just make a game based on just the Ant platform, because that was beautiful, man. I swear, not I can't hype up enough how unbelievably just at peace I felt just watching this. It's a feeling I've never experienced from anything else before or since. Yeah, that's it for this one. Hopefully, I won't take 6 months to to get this out. It's only been 30 minutes. That's 10 minutes. Oh my god. Okay, that's fine. Some of that was checking stuff in between as well. If you've played Empire of the Ants, let me know what you think. If you've gone for Platinum too, what do we want to know if you do see this? If you are an RTS fan, if like especially with the bigger fan you are, how is this? How in just as an RTS game, how is this game gonna hold up? I don't know if it's a side thing, or maybe people who just want to make an ant game and just like did a terrible job, or if it's a halfway decent game. I have no idea. Not a thing I play. I'm terrible at them. But this one caught my eye for some reason. Every time I go through the PlayStation Store, like newest to oldest, before they botched the fuck out of it, before Armored Core was the third game you'd see every time, despite coming out in March. Yeah, before the PlayStation Store was a shithole as much as it is. I used to always see this, and I don't know why. I would click on it and go, maybe not for me. Every time. But every time I would scroll through, it would catch my eye, and it was like it was meant to be. Yeah, thank you for watching. And I'll hopefully get this out without anything crazy going on this time. This is probably a longer one because I'm just getting back into explaining things, but blah blah blah. But yeah, whatever. Next one will be. Oh yeah, I usually say which one will be next at the end, but or which one could be next. But considering that I have like 3 more of these already, 4 platinums already done, the next one will either be Lost in Random, The Plucky Squire, or Colourful Part 2, an indie slop. I guess that's a fun way to tease which one will be next without actually spoiling it. How many do I have left? One, I have 2 more that I had done before, and then 2 more after. God, I've only gotten 4 platinums like 7 months. I need to get on my game before I catch up. But yeah, as always, see you for the next one. See you for the next platinum.